Welcome back to another Mind Mat video aimed at reducing the symptoms of stress or anxiety. We're going to be working today with areas around our tummy and our gut and our spine, and the reason for that is that there has been an awful lot of research over the past few years that have linked our gut to our brain and the healthiness of our microbiome, so all the organisms that live in our gut. And through this, also in the therapeutic world, we have now got training in polyvagal theory. And the vagus nerve is a nerve that runs from the gut to various organs in the body and into your brain. And so now we're beginning to realise actually what we eat also has an impact on our mental and emotional well-being as well as our physical well-being. And I'll put a link in the end of this video to some information that I found very interesting when I was exploring it, I suppose, to find out more about it. And that is the Zoe app. So I'll include that in some of the information for you at the end. But today we're going to work with a few little bends, a few little twists, and also again with the breath. And we'll be starting our work today at the top of our mat. Now, if you need some blocks or you need some cushioning under your knees, if we come to the floor, or you need anything else, this is the time to go and fetch it. But also remember that any asana, any yoga pose or move that I am exploring with you, never ever put yourself into a position where you're feeling any pain. If there's anything that feels uncomfortable, just back off. We have different bodies, we have different flexibility. We're also, although I'm trying to introduce this at a level for complete beginners, some of these things will feel a little strange. So just take what you can, do not push yourself. This video is to relieve the symptoms of anxiety, and so just do what you can. It's enough. So go get your props if you need them. Make sure you've got some comfy clothing on. I've got my jogging bottoms and a t-shirt. It's warm today, and I'll see you at the top of the mat. One of the really effective tools for managing anxiety is to be able to be aware and to a degree take some control over your breathing. In these simple anxiety videos, I'm working with 4/4 count of inhalation and exhalation, breathing in and breathing out. Because actually for someone who's quite anxious, taking long inhalations and exhalations, it can be actually quite difficult to do. But as you gain more control over your breath, you can lengthen the inhalations and exhalations, and this has a huge benefit. You can also hold the breath in between inhalation and exhalation and back again. But that's not what we're going to be doing here. We're keeping it really basic. So let's come to the top of our mat, and we are going to tap into our breath, and we're going to tap into what I call a real grounding and awareness. Remember, this mat is your safe haven, it's your safe place, and we will meet here as we work through reducing the symptoms of anxiety. So just come to the top of your mat with your feet just hip width apart. And just literally to start with, I just want you to let yourself feel heavy and grounded, as if you are rooting yourself into the ground. Feel your toes, you can wiggle them. Then can you feel the outside of your foot? Can you feel the inside of your foot? Can you stabilize your feet? Can you lift your toes and then drop your toes? Keeping your hands by your side, let your fingers drop towards the floor. And now I want you to just become aware of your breathing. Make sure that your head is not tipped back or your chin isn't forward. So a nice neutral position with the chin. And as you inhale, Imagine filling up front and back, filling up to the side, filling up to the depth of your belly. So let's inhale for 4. And exhale for 4. And repeat. And exhale. Now keep this breathing going and continue to feel your feet on the ground. Learning how to ground yourself is really important. Sometimes if you feel anxious and you're sitting, make sure you can feel your feet on the floor. Consciously think about your feet being like tree roots going into the ground, letting your legs be heavy into the ground. Anxiety gives us a sensation of rushing around, of anxiety, restlessness, on the hop, also as if there's a feeling of dread, we're going to have to move any minute. So tapping into your breathing, feeling the earth beneath your feet and trusting that actually the earth has got you. Continuing with the breath, I want you to bring your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down. Inhale up to the ears. Exhale, drop them down. Raise them to your ears. Exhale, drop them down. Just settle yourself. Feel the earth beneath you expand as you breathe in. And now we are going to take our hands above our heads as if we're holding a great big beach ball up here. And an inhale for 4, as if you're going to take your fingers up as high as you can. And as you exhale, I want you to come to the left. Inhale to come back. And now flex to the right. Inhale to come back. And we'll repeat again. Inhale for 4. And side stretch to the left. Exhale. Inhale to come back. Side stretch the other side. Inhale to come back. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. Now we're going to do some forward folds. So obviously this is going to mean that we're folding forward and that our gut will be in a different position. Now, not everybody can reach the floor. If you have blocks and you want to use blocks, that's absolutely fine. If you only come, down to your knees, that's absolutely fine. But we're going to be doing some folding, and when we fold, we always exhale. So we're going to start with a big inhalation up to the sky. So inhale, exhale, forward. Come up halfway, inhale, exhale, back down to the ground. Bend the knees a little, come up, big inhale, and hands back to the heart. Now we're going to come to the center of our mat. Take the feet a little wider apart this time, and with your hands on your hips, you're going to take an inhale for the count of 4, and then as you exhale, you're going to bend forward halfway with a flat back position. So inhale, exhale and fold. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Okay, and repeat. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Inhale to come up. Exhale, relax. Coming back to the front of your mat now. This time we're going to inhale to come up, we're going to fold forward, and then we're going to come back into a low lunge. So inhale, exhale. Now once we're here, take the right leg back, drop the right knee down, and inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now we're in a low lunge position here, but what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little twist. So you might want to watch me first. I'm going to inhale, and on the exhale, I'm going to twist and put my right elbow onto my left knee. So I will inhale for 4. Exhale and twist. Inhale to come back. And exhale and relax. Hands coming back to the floor. Raise your right knee and step forward to the front of the mat. Inhale to come up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Step back now with the left leg, lower the left knee. Inhale to come up. Hands to the heart, exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale, twist. Inhale to come back. Hands to the floor. Raise the left knee and step forward to the front of your mat. Inhale to come up. And hands to your heart as you exhale. Anjali Mudra. Remember, Anjali Mudra, if you've heard me talk about it before, it's that, honouring yourself and basically honouring others, really, but especially in our anxiety practice. You're really important, you're worth looking after. What I want you to think about today is the connection between looking after yourself, good self-care. So when I'm working with clients in the counselling practice, one of the things that happens when people are suffering with their mood is lots of things go out the window. And actually looking after themselves can go out the window very, very quickly. And because we're talking about the connection between our gut, our vagus nerve, and our brain, because remember we have the other wiring that most people are familiar with, so the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic, and one's very cognitively based basically, and the other one's very emotionally based. But we also have this vagus nerve, and it goes to our brain, and looking after our gut is really important with actually all the little messages and all the powerhouse of what's going on in our gut and how it affects our brain is hugely important. So think about what you're eating. I'm not here to preach to anybody, but I think now there's enough evidence to show that total consumption of processed food, lots of sugars, lots of salt, is detrimental to our health. So if you check into the link that's at the end of this video, you will see how it also impacts our emotional well-being and other things as well. So we're now going to come to the mat. And putting your feet out in front of you, I want you to just sit up nice and tall, make sure you can feel your seat bones. But we're here to help with the anxiety symptoms. We're not trying to fine tune all of the yoga here. So it's a combo of psychotherapeutics and some yoga asanas. So let's bend the right knee up and if you can, bring your heel in towards your bottom. If it's only going to come halfway, that's fine. Whatever your body is able to do. Now we're going to do a pretty simple twist, but remember when we twist, we're exhaling. And always when we twist, God, I can't get my words out today. When we twist, we should elongate our spine, because you imagine your spine, if you're bent over, it's more crunched. So if you can be taller and have a little space for the spine to move, that's helpful. Obviously it is a little space, there's not lots of gap there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our right knees bent, our left arm and hand out in front, and then we're going to bend that round so our elbow is holding our knee, and then we're going to swing the other hand behind us. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to look over our right shoulder. So inhale and exhale. That's your little twist. Now, only go as far as it's comfortable. Don't take it any further. It might not be as far as me. You may be flexible and go further. And gently release, and we'll swap to the other side. Now I'm bending my left leg up, and I'm taking my right arm out and curling that round so my elbow crease has got my knee, hands pointing to the back, and I'm going to float this around behind me, and on an inhale I'm going to stretch my spine up, and on the exhale I'm going to have a little twist. And gently releasing and coming back. Now bend both knees up and just take your arms around your knees for a moment. Have a little wiggle on your seat bones. I want you to feel your seat bones on the floor. I want you to feel your feet on the floor. You can have a rounded back or a straight back, it doesn't really matter. Just think there's 2 points of contact here. It's your seat bones and it's your feet, and you're hugging your knees. It's not really a surprise, is it, that sometimes when we're distressed we do this? It's the sense of being supported. It's also the sense of making ourselves small. So what I want you to do now is I want you to let your legs come out nice and long. Just relax your knees down and feel your legs on the mat. Okay, so we're in this lovely position now where we can imagine we've got a little point on the top of our head, like you have on an apple, and pull yourself up. Let your hands gently rest on the top of your legs, and just come back to the breathing again, the 4-4. Continue your breathing if you can quietly. Now what I want you to think about doing is taking your arms out to the side. Now this is a very different position to the one where we're crunched up, when we're folded over, when we're coming into ourselves. I want you to remember this position as a position of stability and power, but also a position of groundedness. Let the hands come back to the knees. You have a lot more power and control than you might think. Sometimes it's hard to harness it, but that's what we're here for, to work towards it. Now just coming down onto your back. You might hear some funny noises here, but I think that might be my grandson coming a little bit closer to where I'm filming, so you might hear some strange noises, but you know, it's a family affair. Life is not perfect. Now we have a different point of contact. We have our back and our spine on the floor, we have our head, we have our feet. Now take your hands and place them down by your sides, palms down to start with. Feel your fingers on the mat, tap into your breathing. Are you breathing sufficiently? Are you inhaling right down into your lungs, or are you breathing right up here in your throat? See if you could make the correction if you're not breathing in fully. If you want to find out a little bit more about breathing, I will put a link to one of the breathing videos at the end of this one. And there's some helpful little hints there as how to ensure that you are fully inflating your lungs and making the best of your breath. Now take your arms out to the side, and we're going to do a really gentle twist, and we're going to let our knees fall to the left. If you find this a bit difficult, you can put a block under your knee, and don't worry if your knees don't come to the floor. They rarely do when people start. So we inhale for 4, and on the exhale we drop our knees to the left. Inhale to come back. Drop your knees to the right. Inhale to come back. And once more to the left. Inhale to come back. And to the right. And come back. And let your legs come out nice and straight in front of you. Get your hands down with your palms this time uppermost, and let your feet flop to the side. Now this has been very gentle movement, gentle twists, and you need to start gentle. The thing is with anxiety, often we are harder on ourselves, critical of ourselves, say things to ourselves that we never say to others. So I want you to remember, no negative self-talk, but also what I want you to take away from today, to add to that, is I will nurture my gut. Start to think about the nutrition in what you eat. Start to think, are you taking time for regular meals? Are you rushing around while you're eating? Are you eating things that are snacks that have got no nutritional value because you're not prioritising yourself? You're not nurturing yourself, you're not looking after yourself. Our mood can really be influenced by the food that we eat. There's a really good study that was done in prisons where they gave some of the prisoners processed food and some very, very healthy organic vegetables, etc. And the levels of violence and aggression were reduced in those, apparently, with the ones that had a very healthy diet. So I'll put you a link into that as well so you can have a look for yourself, because it sounds like a very bold statement. So now I just want you to relax your eyes, close them down just for a second, relax your jaw. Are you holding your shoulders? Let them drop. Relax all the arms, and can you feel, are you holding clenching your buttocks, or are you letting yourself drop to the floor? So I caught myself doing them. Feel all through your back, your buttocks, the backs of your calves. Let your feet flop, wiggle your toes for a second. Tap into your breath, or just stay here with the breath just for a little longer. imagine your body is surrounded by a warm, welcoming glow. You're aware of your breath. You're learning about your breath. You're feeling what it is to ground, or start to learn to ground yourself, to be in the moment, to find, even if it is only a few seconds of, that felt better. You take whatever little spark that feels good. Now I invite you to stay here if you want to. You can remain here, stop the video and stay on the floor if you want to for a little longer. I'm going to now bring the video to an end. I'm going to very slowly take myself to the side. And come back upright. If you want to understand a little more about the nervous system, you might want to tap into a couple of the longer videos. One on the chakras, the root chakra for stability and security, and the other chakra, which is the sacral chakra. I go into a little bit more detail about the vagus nerve in some of these videos if you are interested. Although some of the asanas might be a little bit more complicated, but you can skip whatever bit you want. You must always take what is good for you. Part of reducing anxiety is understanding, and this is what I'm telling my counselling clients all the time, what you're bringing into your life that serves you, that's good for you, and what you're keeping in your life that's remaining in your life that isn't. Now, sometimes we're not aware of what's making us anxious, and sometimes we're not doing anything about that. Sometimes we don't even know what's making us anxious. Anxiety it's basically there. It's a preventive thing for stopping us getting eaten by a tiger, right? So that nervous system is like that for a reason. But nobody wants to live in that day in, day out. So I'm going to try and help and support as best I can through these videos to help you find a way of controlling some of that anxiety. It might not go away. I'm not making any promises that this is a panacea for all anxiety or restlessness, but it can have an impact. So I hope you will join me back on the mat. Check the links out for more information, and today, remember, you need to look after yourself, nurture yourself, no negative self-talk, and please think about, are you fueling your microbiome? Are you helping your vagus nerve have everything it needs for good mental well-being? See you back on the mat.